Most people think driving long haul at night is peaceful. And honestly, sometimes it is. There's something calming about empty highways at 3 in the morning. No traffic. No people. Just the sound of the engine and endless road disappearing into darkness. But roads that empty have a different kind of fear. Because when you do see someone out there, it immediately feels wrong. I learned that on Highway 9. I'd been driving for almost 11 hours through heavy fog deep in the woods. No gas stations. No houses. No signal. Just trees and cracked asphalt stretching for miles. I remember checking the dashboard clock. 3:07 a.m. That's when my headlights hit him. A man standing directly in the middle of the road. Facing away from me. I slammed the brakes so hard the truck screamed beneath me. Tires shrieked across the pavement while the trailer fishtailed behind me. The truck stopped inches from him. But he never moved. No panic. No reaction. Nothing. He just stood there perfectly still. My heart was pounding so hard it hurt. At first I thought maybe he was drunk or injured. I rolled the window down halfway and yelled, "Hey!" The second the window opened, freezing air flooded into the cab. Not cold night air. Freezing. Like opening a freezer door. Goosebumps shot up my arms instantly. Then the man slowly turned around. And I swear to God, he didn't have a face. No eyes. No nose. No mouth. Just smooth pale skin stretched across his head like wet wax. For a second my brain couldn't process what I was seeing. Then the thing took one slow step toward the truck. That snapped me out of it. I threw the truck into reverse and backed away so fast I nearly jackknifed the trailer. My hands were shaking violently as I spun the truck around and slammed on the accelerator. I just needed to get away from whatever that thing was. A few minutes later, I finally looked in the rearview mirror. And almost crashed. He was sitting in the sleeper berth behind me. Motionless. Watching me. Same pale skin. Same featureless face. I jerked the wheel hard enough to drift into the opposite lane. When I looked again, he was still there. And that's when I heard the whispering. At first it was quiet. Barely audible over the engine. But slowly it got louder. Dry. Scratchy. Like dead leaves scraping across concrete. The language didn't sound human. There were no pauses between the words. Just non-stop whispering that made my skin crawl. I grabbed my phone trying to call somebody. No signal. Of course. I pushed the truck faster. 80. 90. The entire cab rattled violently beneath the speed. But every time I checked the mirror, he was closer. First sitting on the bed. Then standing behind the passenger seat. Then directly behind me. The temperature inside the cab kept dropping until I could see my breath. Frost crept across the windshield. And somewhere inside the whispering, I started hearing my name. Not clearly, but enough. Like something trying to learn how humans speak. That terrified me more than the face. Because it sounded curious. Like it was studying me. Then suddenly, city lights appeared ahead. The second I passed beneath the first streetlight, the whispering stopped. The temperature returned to normal instantly. I looked in the mirror again. The sleeper berth was empty. I pulled into a gas station shaking so badly I could barely stand. One of the workers helped me search the truck. Nothing was there. No footprints. No sign anyone had been inside. Eventually I convinced myself exhaustion caused the whole thing. Stress. Lack of sleep. Too much caffeine. That had to be it. Right? But 3 nights later, I woke up around 2 a.m. and walked into my bathroom for water. Half asleep, I looked into the mirror above the sink. And standing behind me was that thing. Same tilted head. Same smooth face. Only this time, it had a mouth. A long thin crack stretched across its face like someone sliced it open with a knife. And slowly, it started smiling. I spun around so fast I slipped against the floor. Nothing was there. But when I looked back at the mirror, it was still standing behind me. Watching. Smiling wider. That was 6 months ago. And it still hasn't gone away. Every reflective surface feels wrong now. Mirrors. Windows. Even black phone screens. Because sometimes, for just a second, I still see him standing behind my shoulder. Closer every time. And last night, I finally understood one word from the whispering. Soon.